How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a subscriber story of a girl in his class where basically she was known for her Twitch streaming and her Twitch account, and she was caught doing something in class that she wasn't supposed to, but it ended up being pretty funny, and it was embarrassing for her, but it was funny for everyone else, and it turned out to be a pretty funny story, so I was like, hey, might as well tell it on the channel. If you enjoy story videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on. Make sure you turn on notifications or you will not see the videos in the future. Also, leave a like on the video right now and you'll receive nothing in return. That's a pretty good deal. I talked to some guys and they said, wow, nothing? That's a really good deal, so leave a like. That being said, let's jump right into the video. This subscriber is in 8th grade when this story happens. And in his 8th grade class, he has a girl who he is kind of friends with. He's had some good conversations with, and, you know, she's overall a pretty good person. And she has a Twitch account, and that's kind of like, I don't want to say her main thing, because, like, I don't know if she does sports or, like, has other hobbies, but she's best known for, you know, trying to, like, grind out a Twitch stream. For the sake of this video, we're just gonna call her Twitch Girl, make things easy. The layout of this class was kind of like the rows and desks. I know that some classes, like, or some classrooms have, like, round table type things, or they're at least closer together. This class was a math class and it was just kind of like rows on rows, and it wasn't like a ton of rows. Like, this wasn't a massive class like a seminar class or anything, because he was in 8th grade, so it wasn't like college seminar or something, but there was like 20-30 people in the class, so like there was enough to, like, it went pretty far back, but there also wasn't enough that you could easily blend you couldn't easily, like, disappear if you're taking the class. So Twitch Girl, by the time this story happens, had been streaming on her account for about 2 months, and she would average like 10 to 15 viewers, which, if you don't know anything about Twitch, that's not too bad. Yes, it's not the numbers that top streamers get, but you need to realize that Twitch really has no organic growth out platform. There's no real way to grow organically on Twitch anymore, or at least that's what experts have said. And so really 10 to 15 viewers consistently is decently impressive. I mean, that's a that's a decent handful of people sitting down watching what you're doing. And she had been streaming a lot at this point. But the thing is, the class had just started up, and the reason why she'd been able to stream so much over the last 2 months was it was summer. So over summer break, she didn't really have anything planned. She didn't really have that many camps or anything. Her parents were kind of just like, you know what, we've been kind of setting up your summers before, but now we're going to kind of let you do what you want to do. We're going to start giving you a little bit of freedom, right? So she decided to, you know, try and, you know, start a career online, as she saw a lot of, you know, successful girls become really popular on Twitch, and she said, hey, that could be really cool as a job someday, so might as well start something now, which honestly, I think that's pretty smart, and I'm all for that. Obviously, like, you know, I've been grinding on YouTube for the last like 6 years doing different stuff. Like, I respect that. I respect the grind. I remember when I got 30 views on a video in a day and I said, you know what, that's pretty good. And if I got 50, I celebrated. That's a tangent. We'll get back to that later. Anyway, so this girl had been streaming every day for like a couple hours, maybe even more. I'm not 100% sure. I just know it's at least a couple hours every single day, except for maybe she'd miss a day or two, but she practically streamed daily for a couple hours a day over the summer, and she'd gotten about like 1,000 followers on Twitch. I don't know how many subs or whatever, but she averaged around 10 to 15 viewers. And obviously when school came around, like, she'd get a few less, but she was still getting a good 10 to 15 viewers. The problem now is that, you know, school, right? You don't have as much time, and when you do have free time at home, you know, you have to do homework, and parents definitely wouldn't be as lenient allowing her to stream at home, because, you know, they'd be like, why haven't you been working more on homework, right? Because even when you get your homework done, if you do it too quickly, your parents are sometimes suspicious, unless you have like 110,000% grade in the class. Like, even if you got an A, they're like, okay, why don't you have an A+? And if you got an A+, they're like, okay, hear me out. Why don't you have an A++? And it's sometimes a little annoying. Obviously, when you get older, you get more freedom, but since she was in 8th grade, her parents weren't a big fan of her streaming that much during school. They said, you know what, we're going to allow you to do whatever you want on the weekends, but during the weekdays, we really don't want you streaming. So all of a sudden, this girl who had been grinding all the time over the summer had to cut her days streaming down from 7 days a week, like 3 to 4 hours a day, to only 2 days a week. So the subscriber who sent in this story knew about this girl before he had class with her. He had a few good conversations with her. She was like friends of friends of friends or something, and somehow they got connected briefly. So he actually followed her over the summer, Or I think it was because she had like, they followed each other on Instagram or something. And obviously when you start off, you want as much support as possible because even one follow can actually really go a long way to being naturally promoted in most algorithms. So I think she posted on her Instagram, or maybe she told some close friends. Either way, he found out about her Twitch streaming channel, and he did follow her. And while he didn't watch all of her streams, obviously, that would be a little weird. Like if you knew someone and like they're just like someone who went to your school and you watched them 24/7, unless you genuinely enjoyed their content, then maybe that's a different thing. He would check in every once in a while, see what she was up to, say hi in chat to show some support, but had notifications on actually, just because he was like interested, like if she was playing something or talking about something or reacting to something that he was interested in, maybe he'd tune in more often. So he turned on the notifications, but other than that, he didn't really, he didn't check in too much. He wasn't an avid fan, which is, totally fair. So he actually did think a little bit about it when, school was about to start, like, wow, she'd been streaming every day. I've been getting daily notifications. I'm pretty sure that's not going to continue, right? So anyways, he gets to his first day in this math class that he has with her. And he doesn't actually know who's in his class until he gets there. I think he could have checked like the night before, but he just waited till he got into class. And he noticed that Twitch girl was there. He says, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. Like, I know that she's kind of cool from some of my friends, and like I kind of followed her over the summer. So it's pretty cool that I now have a class with her. Right. So, they get in class together and, on your first day, so this class didn't have assigned seats. But if you don't know, in a lot of classes that don't have assigned seats, wherever you sit for the first week becomes your unassigned assigned seats. This is at least very true in college and pretty true in a lot of other places, right? And it was also true in the climate at this school, like kind of like it was the meta. The first seat you picked was kind of like, and if you stuck with it for a couple days, that was your unassigned assigned seat. So, right, he notices that the Twitch girl actually chooses all the way in the very back row. And, there's nothing wrong with sitting in the back row. I, enjoy a little bit of back row action as well. But then remember, I'm pretty active in my classes. I do give it some effort, and it is kind of notorious if you're in the back row is a little notorious because a lot of people who go in the back row do so to like engage as least as possible without making it super obvious. If I had to give a pro tip, if you don't really want to do stuff in a class and you don't want to get caught, be in the middle row. Anyways, right, so this guy has now gotten his unassigned assigned seats, and let's skip ahead for 2 weeks, because nothing really happens for 2 weeks when it comes to him and the Twitch girl, but the subscriber notices that Twitch girl went live during the weekend, but she never went live any other time, because, obviously she's in class, and he just assumed that, she couldn't do it at night. One day, however, this was about 3 to 4 weeks into math class, right? It's a normal day. The professor's going on about something that has to do with math. He doesn't really know. He's taking a seat more or less in the middle, so he can like space out a little bit. He can like mess around a little bit. So he decides to kind of glance down at his phone, see like if there's any news that's trending, or if he got a snap, or like if that girl he liked texted him back, classic stuff. But he notices a really I can't speak, bro. What I'm trying to say is that there was a notification that he received that he was not expecting, to say the least. He got a notification from Twitch. And this Twitch notification was a notification that a creator he followed with notifications on went live. And you know who that creator was? Yeah, it was Twitch Girl. And he was like, okay, Twitch is obviously bugging out, right? There's probably just like a glitch, or maybe she clicked a wrong button or something. And so he clicks into the notification to see, if what is actually going on. I'm going to interrupt the story for just 1 second. If you made it this far into the video, which I mean you did if you're watching this right now, I want you to comment Twitch down below. That's kind of like the secret phrase of the day to see who made it this far into the video. I just really appreciate it when people like watch my videos, so I want to see who's not clicking off in the first minute. And yeah, I also try and heart as many of these as possible, so if you want to farm top commenter or whatever, just comment Twitch down below. And yeah, let's get back to the story. Right, so the subscriber clicks into the Twitch notification, assuming that it was like a glitch or something, and he sees a live stream, and he's like, oh no, she must be going live by accident. And then he notices the live stream is just a screen capture of a desktop, and he's going to assume that this desktop is Twitch Girl's desktop, but he also notices that the Notepad app is open. There's about like 5 or 6 other people watching right now, and he notices that there is stuff being typed in the Notepad. And in the Notepad, it says, hey, I'm in class right now, so I can't really talk or play games, but I'm gonna go live, I'm gonna continue the grind, and I'm just gonna do it through this Notepad app, so feel free to ask me anything, right? So this guy like types in chat and he's like, "Hey, haha, I'm in your class right now." And after like a 31-minute delay or whatever, he sees in the notepad, she types like, "Hey, like I'm seeing you right now, like what's going on?" And he types back like, "Aha, just math stuff, like if you really need help, I'll catch you up later." She's like, "Haha, yeah, I'm so behind anyways. I thought might as well use this for good use." He doesn't respond to that because he would disagree, but it doesn't matter. He's not trying to start a fight. Anyways, right, so this actually continues for about a week or two. She keeps going live, she keeps doing the Notepad app, and, it's not really too interesting. And the viewership has dropped like 50%. She's getting like 6 to 7 viewers instead of like 12, 13, 14, 15 like she did over the summer. Part of that is because people, are now in school. But she also probably believed that, and was probably true, that another part of this viewership drop was due to the fact that, she wasn't really, there was no face cam, there was no reaction, there was no voice, there was no gameplay. It wasn't as stimulating as the other broadcasts. She needed to add something more if she wanted to retain more of a viewership. So my subscriber just kind of assumed that she would keep this up for at least a little while. He also noticed that the viewership was a little bit down, so he kind of just assumed that she'd either give up or keep going like this just to grind for the sake of grinding. But one day, right, he's been clicking into the notifications every time he gets them, but one day he notices something interesting when he clicks into the stream. This is the first time that the notepad is not open. He notices that once again the desktop is open, but instead he sees a game being booted up. I don't remember exactly what game it was. It could have easily been Minecraft or something like that, but he notices like a game being played, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, she's getting more confident, like she's getting a little cocky right now." And like the game, I'm going to be honest, bro, the game was not being played well. But that wasn't because she wasn't skilled, because, when she was playing over the summer, she was pretty good. The thing was that she didn't bring in a mouse because she just assumed that I don't know, she wasn't going to be playing games on this computer, but the computer did have a trackpad. So she was trackpad gaming. If you guys didn't know, when I got into Minecraft like 2 summers ago, like revived my interest, I was playing like competitive like Bed Wars and stuff. Terribly, of course. My KD was like -0.1 or whatever, but like I was playing on a trackpad, so I know the struggle. But anyway, she was playing on a trackpad, and while this was definitely more engaging and more interesting, and the trackpad just wasn't doing it. To be fair, like the trackpad was like preventing like it from making too much noise, but it also was taking away from the quality of the gameplay. So right now the subscriber's like, okay, she's getting, a little bit cockier, but this isn't the same thing as before. It's probably not as engaging. The viewership went up like on average by like 1. She got like 7 to 8, but the fact was the gameplay just wasn't that good without a mouse. So the next day rolls around, and once again, he gets the notification that she went live. And honestly, at this point, he's probably like lost like a grade, and he's probably down a grade in this class just because of how much he gets distracted by these live streams. But anyways, right, he just keeps going at it at this point. He gets a notification that she's live, and he hadn't checked back, like he hadn't like turned around or really looked at her when he walked into class. He kind of just got to his stuff, fumbled in, and like kind of like sat right down. When the live stream went on, he noticed something new. And this was the thing that was like really blew his mind, right? She had face cam on, and she had a mouse, and she had a microphone. For a second, the subscriber was convinced that she like pretended to be sick and stayed home, but then he like turned his body around and saw her looking at her computer with a mouse pad and a mouse in her hand with headphones in, and the headphones had like the gamer headphones with like the voice link command thing. And he was just like, there's absolutely no shot she's doing this. She cannot think she's going to get away with this, right? So he starts watching the stream, and he starts hearing a clicking sound coming from behind him, and he's like, oh no. And he looks up at the teacher, and the teacher seems to be far enough away that like he isn't noticing the clicking sound, because while the clicks are pretty annoying to him, he guesses that like the sound isn't as apparent, or he's just distracted enough not to be like distracted by the sound. But anyways, right, she's playing the game, and someone asks something in chat. So she decides that like, oh, I guess I'm far enough behind, like back in class, that no one will hear me. She starts speaking into the microphone, and like the dude like who was watching the stream had like the volume up. The sound started coming out of his phone, so he had to turn it down really quickly. And at this point, she was like not aware of how loud she was being because she had headphones in. And at this point, he looks up at the teacher's looking right back at her. She spoke too loud. So when the teacher looks back, he kind of notices that like she has a whole gaming rig out and is like clicking away and talking into something. So he starts walking back to her. And the dude is like looking back like, dude, what? But she was too in it. Like she was like locked into her stream. She was locked into the game. And then he notices that she starts responding to another comment in her normal voice. The fact that she had her headphones in and everything, she forgot about the setting she was in. And he just looks at her. She's like looking at the screen, clicking away. And then like the teacher stands above her. And it's like a second later, she looks up and just freezes. Anyways, punishment actually turned out to be not that bad. He basically like sent her down to the principal's office. She had to explain like what she did and why she did it. And basically all that happened were her parents were notified and the parents took away her gaming setup for about a month. That might seem a little harsh, but it's kind of justifiable. I mean, she was in class like not even paying attention, like also distracting other people. Like you hate to see it and I'm all for the grind, but you got to be grinding at the right times and the right ways. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed today's video and want to support the channel, consider watching another video. Just clicking on another video of mine really does help out the channel. You can do this by any of the videos on screen or in the recommended, but also consider watching the Storytime playlist, which has all the story times in one, and that will be first link in the description. See you in the next one. Peace.